Yo, what's going on, guys? Darnell B here. Welcome to Tech on My Dresser. I got the RAZR Phone 5G. Now, this is the second version of the RAZR Phone. The RAZR Foldable, of course, not the flip that came out some odd years ago. The RAZR Foldable. And it's been out for a little bit over a year. And T-Mobile had it for $4.99. That's right, $4.99. So, naturally, I had to get it. And honestly, it was perfect timing because the phone I was using was a Pixel 3 XL and it had been through some things. I dropped it a bunch of times. I never got a case for it. Bunch of cracks in the display, chips at the bottom of the display. My daughter dragged it across the floor once, display down. Yeah, it still worked. As durable as it is, obviously, I didn't want to be in a situation where I really needed my phone and that be the time it decides to be like, all right, I'm done. You put me through enough. So I went ahead and upgraded. I was scrolling through the T-Mobile site at the time, just looking to see what was there. T-Mobile tends to discount phones pretty heavily after it's been, I don't know, a year and some change. Despite some of my reservations that I had about it, it being $500 cheaper made me a little more confident. For those of you that are here for this, you're probably really just here to see what it's like to use on a daily basis. It's such a niche phone that I'm pretty sure you've done your research on it before, so you probably know what the specs and stuff are. But just to be consistent, I'll drop the basic specs. So this RAZR Phone 5G is the 256 gig version. I believe there was a 128. I saw that there was one, but at T-Mobile, I think that was the only one they had anyway. So 256 gigs onboard storage, which is really good. Snapdragon 765G, which actually surprised me. We'll talk about that in a bit. 48 megapixel camera, and it's all right. It's okay. Nothing crazy, nothing special, but it's definitely doable. It's definitely usable, and it's definitely better than the Surface Duos. 2800 milliamp hour battery, which is on the small side, and yes, this phone uses a lot of battery. It drains fast, so from the jump, I'm letting you know now, battery life is not good. The main display is a 1080p OLED panel, 90 hertz refresh rates, and it's cool. It's straight. The outer display is LCD. I think 1080p, 60 hertz, nothing crazy. It's nothing special, but it's definitely doable, definitely usable. Cool thing about this outer display is you can do everything on it. So first thing that stands out about the RAZR is the design. This is probably the most premium device I've held in recent memory, and that's compared to everything, iPhone, Samsung, and especially the foldables. When you look at something like the Z Fold 3, the Surface Duo, of course, those phones are in a lot of ways better than this one because they can do more, but I view those more like a utility, something that you utilize to do a specific thing. But when it comes to design, it's kind of clumsy and it's really not that practical. This RAZR, although it has its trade-offs when it comes to the way it's designed and the way you use it, the practicality of it with the way that it can get smaller, and just the design of it is just so nice. It's elegant, it's sleek, it just screams premium. It's got a nice weight to it. It feels really, really good in the hand. I know a lot of reviewers say that, but it really does. It's just super sleek. The glass on the front and the back, super nice, has a rear fingerprint sensor, and it's kind of awkwardly placed. When it's closed, it's perfect. When you want to use the outer display, quick, but when it's open, it gets a little weird. You got to be kind of careful because you don't want to end up dropping it. It still does have all the little Motorola features like the chop flashlight and the camera. So the classic Motorola features. So if you're kind of nostalgic about that, those things are still there. And that hinge, man, this hinge, it's amazing. I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the phone. It's just such a good hinge. It's this thick chunk of really shiny metal, but it just looks so nice. I don't know. I like weird things. I like the little things. All right, let's get to those screens. The outer display is the most important. Okay, well, to me, it's the most important part, and it's my favorite. I love this outer display. I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I really, really like it. And what's cool about it is, obviously, it's touch, so you can do more than just see your notifications. You can interact with them, and you can add just about any app. I think the only apps that you can't add are the apps that are built in, like Google Play and stuff like that for some reason. Not that I care, I don't need to use Google Play. But other than that, pretty much everything works. Instagram, Netflix, TikTok, if you like TikTok, Facebook Messenger, all of those apps and more, I promise, are able to be used, and you can access things. It might not be the best experience. I could pull up Netflix on this phone's outer display and play a show or a movie on Netflix with full controls, play, pause, rewind. As I said, it's not going to be the best experience. Now, for that inside display, 1080p, OLED, 90 hertz. It's a good display. It's cool. Like, it's nothing special, and it's not really going to wow you. Because once you open the phone, it pretty much just turns into a smartphone. That's pretty much it. So it's nothing amazing. It's just like your typical smartphone experience. You can use it and be confident in using it. It's not just gonna break. I was very worried about the durability of the display, but I use it on a daily basis with no issues. Now, one thing I really do not like when it comes to the outer and the inner display, no tap to wake. Like, why wouldn't you add tap to wake? Sure, if you move the phone, the display will come on and you can see your notifications or whatever, but whenever it's just sitting there or something, I would like to be able to just tap the display, just for the simple fact that I am able to interact with it. Now, the inner display, I could deal with it not having the tap to wake, just because majority of the time I'm going to be coming from using the outer display, and once I open it, the display is going to come on anyway, and I'm not just letting the phone sit open. But that outer display, desperate need of some tap to wake energy. Like, we need that. Now, performance. Day to day, I think this has 8 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 765G. The 765 surprised me. When this was $1,000, I frowned upon this phone because of that processor. I was like, man, like, even if I did want to take the plunge and I was ready to risk it when it comes to this display, I don't want a phone with a mid to low end processor. Like, I want the top tier. I want the 865. Why didn't they put the 865? And in a way, it really makes sense that they didn't, because you're not going to be using this like a regular smartphone. You try to do a graphically intensive game on here, you can do it, but do you really want to? Because of how fragile the screen is when you really get into gaming, at least for me, when I'm really into it, I'm going to start pressing harder. And pressing the display hard on this is not a good idea. So having an 800 series chip really isn't necessary. And 765G is pretty quick. It's nice and snappy. I really don't have any issues with the phone lagging at all. Now, I've only had it for a week, so I know it could slow down over time. But overall, it moves pretty quick. The only time I've really seen a little bit of lag would be like if I'm watching YouTube and I close the phone and I continue it on the outer display. Once I push play, sometimes when it starts playing, the audio will kick in first, but the video will still be kind of frozen for like a quick second.
It's so wow, that's pretty. So pretty. Oh my god.
It's nothing that's really gonna be like bothering you, because a lot of the times when I do it, it actually doesn't do that. So it's here and there, but other than that, overall performance is really good. The 90 hertz display on the main panel does make it look a bit more snappy as well, and the RAM management really surprised me. I'll open YouTube and I'll play a video, pause it, I'll swipe out of it, I'll go do other things, have Instagram open like maybe 5 or 6 other apps that use a lot of memory, and I'll go back to YouTube and it'll still be on the same video in the same spot. And that's with the display opened or closed. All right, the cons. This phone is not perfect, all right? So I gotta make sure you guys understand. I really like it. Obviously, there's bias there or whatever. It's not perfect, but I'm the type of person that doesn't mind certain trade-offs. I understand the trade-offs and I just roll with them and I adapt accordingly. But for some people, these trade-offs are 100% deal breakers, and that's understandable. I get it. Camera, not that great. It's not bad, but it's not that good either. So if you need something with a good camera, you're the type of person that uses your smartphone camera a lot and you need it to be good, you need it to do without you having to do extra work to make it look good, then this is not the phone for you. Also, when it comes to like the practicality of it, it's very practical, but also a pain in the ass sometimes. But the fact that you can use the front display without opening the phone makes it super convenient. But what can make it inconvenient is trying to type out messages. The keyboard on here, although it's fairly spacious and it's decently sized, has a bit of a learning curve. When you're typing messages out, it's definitely a lot better to do it one-handed, and it's definitely better to do swipe. But sometimes swipe just does not work. Swipe pisses me off sometimes. And just manually just typing it out can definitely be done. But there is a button under the space bar, and it's used to drop the keyboard. and it's so close that I keep hitting it. So every time I'm typing out a message, I keep hitting that button. And sometimes I hit it and I accidentally send the message incomplete because I'll drop the keyboard. Also, you cannot one hand flip this open. I don't care what anybody says. To one hand flip this, you have to like turn it in a weird way, dig your fingers into it. And at that point, you're risking possibly hitting the screen. You're not one hand flipping this. Now you can do the close with one hand. That's pretty slick. You look kind of cool, but you have to two-hand open it. Whether you got your hands full or how you move around, that might be inconvenient. Sure, it's just a couple seconds, but sometimes you might not want to just keep doing this. And I've noticed that when I'm in the gym, sometimes trying to navigate certain screens, even though all the apps work, since it's so small, navigation can be a pain on some apps. So you just got to open it up to get in there and really dig in or send a more serious message, whatever it might be. And trying to open it up after closing it sometimes can be a pain, and you might not enjoy that. Last, if you're not a careful person and you're rough on your displays, you type hard, you have nails, don't do it. The display can easily be damaged by stuff like that, hard items. Those would be some of the things that you would have to deal with on a daily basis. So if you don't like the way any of those sound, this probably isn't the phone for you. Now for everybody else, if you're okay with trade-offs, or maybe you have a second phone, so whatever trade-offs this brings, you got covered on the other side, go ahead and pick it up. If you can get it at the price that I got it at, or somewhere close, definitely well under $1,000, I honestly think it's worth it. It's definitely an item for tech enthusiasts and collectors. In 10 years, I don't know if Motorola will be here. I don't know if they're going to come out with a third gen of this. I feel like it's worth it to get just to collect it. Even if you get it, never open it, never use it, just have it and collect it. You never know what this could be in 10 or 15 years. Like the way we look back at the old OG flip RAZR phones, this could be worth something later. Alright, but that is it. That has been my experience with the RAZR Phone 5G so far. If I missed some things and you guys want to know more, just drop it in the comments. I will be posting more about this phone. Like I said, I just got it. It's only been a week, so I'll be posting more about it, giving you guys an update soon. Just letting you know how I feel about it, what my experience is. That's pretty much it so far. I am Darnell B. Peace.